It's not fair to go back on our word. That's not who we are as a society, or shouldn't be, and we're going back on our word, and I don't like it.
Well,
because
and
that means we're liars.
And that's my biggest issue with cancel culture, is because, and it's coming from the left, because the left, and when I mean left, I mean like the Marxists and the progressives, I mean like those kind of guys. The problem with that is cancel culture is their way of silencing dissent, because they know if we're all allowed to sit here and talk to each other and work out these ideas, we'll come up with the best solution forward. Okay, but that's not what their goal is. That's why you see these kids downtown screaming at people, because it's not about sitting down and coming to a logical conclusion, coming to the best foot forward. It's about, you're evil, you're a monster, and I need to shut you down and shut you up, and there's nothing else to it. And what I say goes, because you're a monster, and that's the problem that they've been trained to. They have been trained to dehumanize the other society, the side, which is why they're perfectly okay with cancel culture, which is why they're perfectly okay with shutting people down and ruining somebody's entire livelihood, because they don't agree with them.
And I don't agree with it, because we promised people when they came to this country they are allowed to be free.
Yes.
Finally.
Yes, and that was our intent. That's what our goal was.
They're telling people, no, you're not allowed to be free.
Right?
You're not allowed to speak your mind. You're not allowed to protect your family.
Yep.
You're not allowed to do all these things that we promised to these people that had that ripped away from them already.
Yeah. Or never had it to begin with.
Clause, the women fucking from Cuba.
Yeah.
They're older women. They know what real oppression is like.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
They're from Cuba, not they weren't born yesterday in Cuba. They're from when Fidel was running shit.
Yeah, exactly.
They're like
from the actual revolution.
Yeah. And they remember getting their guns taken away and losing all their rights and not having freedom.
Yeah.
And they moved here because they wanted freedom, and we're taking that away from them.
Yeah. And
those women worked hard.
And that's, people want to scream, oh, well, America's done this and America's done that. And yeah, we've got bad history. Every country's got bad history.
There's not one in the world that doesn't.
Exactly. There's nobody in the world that doesn't.
Egypt is fucking scarred. Everywhere's
everywhere's got a bad history, and it's one of those things is, people want to go, oh, well, the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution and all that, it's meaningless because it was written by these bad people and all this other stuff. And the thing about it is the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution were never, we knew we were flawed people from the beginning. Okay, we knew those were supposed to be the ideals that we were supposed to aspire to. It was not supposed to be, we were not always going to be perfect. We knew that. Those rights were written there so that way we could get through it all together. That was the ideals we were supposed to strive for. And that's what we've lost sight of. These people want to burn the whole damn system down without looking at it and going, look, yeah, there's problems in the system, and those systems can be fixed. But this is still the best system anybody's ever seen. Yeah. This is the best system that history has ever produced.
I agree with adding on to things. I don't agree with ripping them away. If you want to add more something to this, like, okay, maybe for instance, the healthcare system needs to be more accessible to some people.
Right.
Okay, I get that. I don't want people to not be able to go to the doctor, because I've lived in that life.
No, of course.
For shit, since I was 10, I didn't go to the doctor because I was afraid, because we didn't have enough money.
Yeah.
And we didn't have insurance. I didn't have insurance till I've never had insurance, never mind, since before I was 10.
There you go.
But
you'll have it soon enough.
Yeah,
but I
think I have a cavity.
Oh, nice. I know I had one.
But it's.
But that's the thing is that's why they wanted, but that they don't care about that. They've been beaten into this idea that America is bad, America is evil, and all this other kind of stuff. And our school system's done a lot of it too. Woodrow Wilson's a prime example. His history books are almost directly why we don't know anything about black American patriots.
Yeah. Kids, I'm sorry, they shouldn't be protesting for equal rights. They should be protesting for better lunches.
Right.
God,
right.
They suck, dude.
Right.
They suck so bad. But it's.
Well, and the thing about it is these kids.
Had one of the most during Obama's term. One of the best things I heard was him. And granted, I don't know the details, but I love the attempt at getting more people health care. It didn't work out, but that was great. That's adding, trying to add more. And I don't agree with how it went about and so on. It was not successful. And it sucked. But the attempt for it was awesome, and the attempt for less. Trying to make people more like, okay, at the time, he tried to make a rule saying that a doctor can't turn away a transgender for whatever reason. Cool, I agree with the sentiment.
Right.
In practice, it has its issues, but, like, we should be striving for that type of thing, not for taking away things.
But see, and here's the problem with that, is you're not addressing the core issue. Because the core issue is that healthcare system was never intended to do what it was meant to do. Because it never, right, yes. But that was what they convinced the lay people to believe, okay? And that's the biggest problem with it. We need to get back to where we are the left and right of America. Because the problem is right now, the only people that are actually playing the game are fighting for total government control or anarchy. And those are the real players in the game right now. And that's what the problem with the healthcare system, that's the problem with that was. All that was a system of control. It was never meant to provide better healthcare. It was set up under the guise of providing healthcare for everybody, but it was actually set up to take more control of the American people.
And that's the problem.
But that's how a lot of stuff's sold. It's sold to make our lives better, but really all it's about is taking away power and control from us.
The beauty that you can take away from that is the American people want to work on the U.S. And meaning there is the opportunity for the conversation, and that's
no denying that whatsoever. Denying that whatsoever.
I like the sentiment of where we are right now sucks, but the sentiment of it's good. Meaning we want to work on more freedom. They just need to be educated correctly, and that's where the problem with the fucking media is. Sorry.
Right. No. So but that brings us right back to cancel culture anyway, because that's part of the problem is.
But that's where it started.
The system. Well, the system is built to crush dissent and only push a specific political agenda. And we have to. Our problem right now is we have to beat back cancel culture. If we don't beat back, because cancel culture, somebody made a prime example, and this brings us right back to the First Amendment. Somebody made a very good example. Cancel culture is the very first successful attempt to get around the First Amendment. Mm-hmm. Because now you've taken somebody's ability away to present their argument to someone else.
And yeah, because the second you say you have a tweet, right? And the second you have the word transgender in there, you automatically have a flip of a coin whether or not you're about to be shut up.
Well, it depends on what you say. Yeah, it depends on what you say.
Yeah, because if it's misinterpreted,
right,
it can be shut up forever. If it's outright wrong, it can be shut up forever.
Right.
You will be shut up forever.
Right.
Meaning that's scary.
Well, and what's even it gets scarier. Have you heard about what's going on with Gab? Okay, so Gab was supposed to be a social networking app that was supposed to be an alternative to Facebook, right? Completely free form, say whatever you want, be whatever you want, all that other kind of stuff, right? Well, of course, some bad apples got involved, and just like anything else, it's just like the internet was in the beginning. What was some of the first thing anybody ever looked up on the internet? Was porn, and the dark stuff, the bad stuff, right? That's what you're always looking for. The negative stuff, right? The less than moral things, right? So of course that's what happened to Gab in the beginning. Well, they cleared it out and they got all the bugs worked out or whatever. Well, here's the problem is now because Gab wants to be an alternative to Facebook, Gab is being so depersoned that MasterCard, I think it was MasterCard and Visa, or it was one of the both, or one or the other. I think it was Visa. But in order for Gab to operate, people have to mail in checks. Because every time they find a new processor to run their credit card stuff for them so that they can take credit cards, Visa or MasterCard, whichever one of them it is, comes through and then goes in and backdoors them and threatens that person, that processor, it threatens that processor with, we will not do business with you anymore as Visa or MasterCard if you process with this page. It's gotten that bad. The cancel culture has gotten that bad. It's not just about knocking people off of YouTube. It's not just about knocking people off of Facebook and Twitter. They've gotten to the point where now you can't even operate as a business anymore if you disagree with them. It's gotten that bad.
And it's scary.
Sorry, but I'm going to have to leave. I need to get this money to the bank.
Yeah, no worries, Bubba.